Okay. All right. Okay. If you are struggling with your taper, or maybe you just can't taper, does that mean that you're not ready to jump? Very well could. But I would say, no, it doesn't. It doesn't just, yep, that's what it means. That's what it is. There are people that they just can't taper. They just cannot taper. Because it is a, when you taper, it's a, I don't know, a light withdrawal by attrition or something. I mean, it can drag on a bit, which I get. When I used to jump off of, like the Oxy and the morphine and stuff like that, I couldn't taper. I really, really couldn't. I could kind of take less. I could kind of do that, but I couldn't like taper. I couldn't like dedicate myself to some taper and regimen or regime for that matter. I couldn't do it. It was hard. Sorry, I just exercised, got out of the shower. I'm sweaty. I need something maybe. Anyway, but no, it does. Just because you can't taper doesn't freaking mean that you're not ready to get clean. I talked to a decent amount of people that just had to jump. That's just what they had to do. That was what was best for them. And sometimes too, the thing is, you're taking whatever, and then like you legit want to get clean in your heart. You're like, dude, I want this now. You don't want to be on crap longer. And you're like, I'm ready to jump. I want to go. I just want to rip the Band-Aid off. I'm going in the car lot and I'm paying this cash up front. I'm not gonna, take the loan. But on the other side of the coin, there's a lot of people that are like, I can't taper. I'm a person that jumps. And then they end up staying on it, and they're just kind of there. Or there's people that do taper, that they get kind of down to maybe 2 milligrams of Suboxone, 1.5 milligrams, 1 milligram, and they just completely stop, and they just cannot go any further. Dude, if you're that low, like I'm just telling you right now, if you're that low and you really want to get off of it, you should just jump. It's not going to be some insane difference in the acute stage. It just really freaking isn't. It's going to not be fun either way. But yes, I would say though this is, I would say that if you are really struggling tapering and you just can't taper, yeah, there's a lot of times where it does mean you're not ready. It's not just like, yep, it does, or it doesn't. It's not just a black and white. It's not just a yes no answer. But yeah, there's a lot of people that I talk to, and that's the thing though. Probably more people that I talk to that are just struggling with the taper. They just can't taper. The majority of them have not jumped, or they did maybe for a little bit and they're back at it. You know what I mean? So yeah, there is something to it, but there's just people are just different, dude. And that's how it was. I used to just be a jumper guy, but then, the taper, was the best option for me, in the long run doing it this time. Now, I would say, I'm talking about opiates and opioid stuff. Benzodiazepines, I know I'm getting off the benzo, so I just hope that people aren't thinking I'm talking about that. That's a whole different game. It's a different game. You're not going to die from coming off of an opiate or an opioid, or it's just going to, you're going to feel crap more, or like, it ain't going to kill you. It's going to suck. It's really going to suck, but it's not going to kill you. I mean, yes, there's, I'm sure I'll get someone, well, my friend one time, he was, and it's like, usually it's dehydration. Anyway, but yeah, you're not, just cause you're not doing a good job tapering, don't lose hope. Don't just be like, oh man, I can't do it. I can't taper. Maybe I'm not ready. Everyone has to look inside themselves. Okay. Period. That's what it is for everything. And if some people are I think I kind of touched on this already. There's people that are really, really good at tapering and they suck at jumping. I mean, that's just the thing. There's people that cannot taper, but they're pretty dang good at jumping. And maybe some people jump off of higher amounts and they've done, maybe they've relapsed and stuff, but they've done it like 7 or 9 times or 5 times or something like that. And then there's people that are really good at the taper that have never jumped. They've never even tasted it. They've never even really tried to like do it. Like they taper and they're just so timid. Don't be so timid, dude. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. I mean, if you are that scared, you might not be ready. I'll tell you when you're not ready. I will tell you right now when you're not ready. If you are on YouTube all the time, just searching for like, oh, what will this work? You're looking for a miracle and like, oh, I just want to find that person that's going to tell me what I want to hear. You're not ready. You're not ready. Okay. I'm not saying my channel's the greatest, but I tell the truth. This is what it is. You got to accept it. It's period. You can search for years, search for 2 years, search and be afraid. I mean, it ain't going to make you clean. Okay. That's just what it is. So yeah, if you're at that stage, if that's what you're doing, then yeah, absolutely. I would say, dude, you're not ready. You have to accept this, okay? Whether you taper or not, okay? Everyone has to make that decision. Now, don't use this though as I'm just not a taper guy, and you're just like we do this. I did this. It's just you keep getting high. Like I'm gonna just jump. I'm not gonna taper, but it kind of gives me an excuse to get high for another how many months, and then you kind of forget about that you really want to jump or something like that, and you're just like, well, I'm a jump guy, but you never jump. I mean, it's like, hey, you're not ready. You're not ready. If that's your attitude, if you're just using that as an excuse to keep getting high. But never give up. If that is at least if it's in your head that you want to get off, that's a freaking starting point. But that's the point, is that's a starting point. That's not like you're ready to go. That's what this video is about. It's a very, very good thing if you're thinking about jumping. I don't want to make it sound like, it's not a good thing. It's a very good thing. But I'm talking about if we're ready to go get this, to not take that crap for the rest of your life and get right. And it's going to take time, and it's, it takes dedication. You have to go all in. Getting off an opioid, we know this, dude, getting off an opiate, it's not a game. It's not just something you just kind of do and like, oh, I'll just kind of bust this out and it's not going to be fun for a while, but I'm pretty sure I can do it. No, dude, it's like everything. Like if you're not eating right, if you're doing all this stuff that's just not great, if you're just kind of lazy or whatever, you got to like change everything. I mean, you got to change every freaking thing, dude, that you can in your life. And not saying that this is just, but if you're not a God person, maybe give it a shot. What do you have to lose? Who gives a crap? I mean, really, like, if you just struggle again and again and again and again and again, it's like, well, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? You know what I mean? Like sometimes we got to just freaking do that's repent, do a complete 180 in all the things in our lives. And you got to be ready for that. And I know it's scary, dude. I know it's scary if you're someone that has tapered all the way down and you're just not going yet. And that again, you got to check yourself. You got to really ask yourself. But don't be afraid, dude. Really, do not freaking be afraid. Should make a video on that. Just don't be freaking afraid of getting off this crap. That's what I'm going to do, actually. I don't have time right now. Maybe after work if I got time. But yeah. If you can't taper, it doesn't mean you're not ready to jump, okay? Good chance it might. I mean, it could. But again, I talk to people that are clean that just had to jump, dude. We all know. I talk about Cindy. Cindy jumped off at 24 freaking milligrams of Suboxone, dude. She's still going, okay? I've talked to guys, dude. I was talking to a guy in Michigan. He was taking like a couple 100 milligrams of, he's taking like 20 perks a day, and he just had to go. He just had to jump. He just was like, I'm not doing this. I'm just jumping. It's like, great. As far as I know, he's still going. I talked to him a while ago. Quite a while ago, but he had a year at that point too, and he was doing pretty good, staying busy, started a new business. Dude, gonna conquer the freaking world, dude. I'm telling you, you get off this stuff, dude. It's amazing. But yeah, again, we just got to check ourselves. We know our hearts, and don't be discouraged. It is what it is, baby. We made our bed. Let's sleep in it, right? But we can change it. We can change it. Waterloo. Drinking a Waterloo. Okay, God bless all y'all. Be for victory and salute.